Uh, we've heard that the construction industry, I think we are of the same opinion that the construction industry has to move forward post the shutdown. However, it would be necessary to undertake pooling of idle equipments, strengthening rental companies, and flexible financing through NBFCs. Can this become a win-win proposition for both buyers and the OEMs who are facing the liquidity crunch?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rajesh, and good morning to all the participants from Shrinkster side and on my own behalf. I agree with Mr. Vyas, what he mentioned about the need which is going to open up. The requirements for the rental machines is going to really go up. At the outset, I would like to tell that I'm also a positive thinker like all the previous speakers, and I hope the recovery is going to be V-shaped and not like the other type of projections which is made for different countries. India is special and we have a big domestic requirement, so it is going to be a recovery. Having said that, what is going to be the choice for the construction companies and also for the companies which are involved in the rental business? Currently, there is a big pressure on them for the liquidity, especially on the EMIs, what they have to pay, and what the money, the collection side of the story. The important factor is, if you see the rental industry in India, it is either it is not completely matured. There are companies which are with a specialized product. We work on like cranes or piling rigs or specialized machines, and in the other side we have many local companies which do the renting of machines which are produced in volumes. So there are two different category of people. Nationally, we don't have successful companies which are into both the segments. So the type of requirement which is going to come up post-COVID situation is going to be many. But also the social distancing requirement of construction site, that also we should consider. That is also going to trigger the mechanization. In a situation where there are 5 or 6 people are required to handle a particular work, a machine would replace that type of an activity, which is going to be the new opportunity post-COVID for mechanization of construction sites. So with respect to the liquidity and fund paucity in the system, I think we need more coming out from the banks and NBFCs to support the promotion of the products in the market. But I believe there are certain unclarified clauses and even the relief what has come, which will make that happen. As a industry and association, we are very keen to promote and represent this to the government to make rental business more attractive for the actual users at the construction site. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shakti. Thank you, Mr. Vyas. I think we come to an important aspect that if we have to move ahead with full throttle, then I think the role of the rental companies, the role of the financing companies, and the role of the OEMs all have to work together so that the construction and infrastructure industry can move forward. Thank you. Taking the clue forward from what Mr. Arvind Garg and what Mr. Krishnan mentioned, I would now like to come to Mr. Shakti Kumar and Mr. Deepak Garg. Now, COVID-19 has led to a disruption of the global supply chain. How are construction and especially with requirement to critical spares to avoid breakdown of the equipment? Now, this as a question has also come from a lot of, and then I would request Mr. Deepak Garg also to add his views to that.
If you look at our company, we are into manufacturing of machineries within India, especially on the concrete side. And we also trade on non-concreting products, which predominantly come from US and China. So we have this situation. At the moment, if there could be an issue, it is only because non-availability of parts, it's only because of the logistic reasons. Otherwise, it is not. Moving out of Chennai, the parts to the different locations. I'm taking ours as an example so that I can explain it better. It applies for most of us. The second point is dependency of the parts from overseas, manufacturing facility. So it all stopped abruptly. The complete lockdown came abruptly. So the planning is not for a weekly basis. It is over a period of time. So for the present time, there is no problem at all. If you see when the COVID situation started in China, our first concern was what will be happening to uh, supporting customers, out of China.
Right.
We went to an extent of considering localization from other countries, India, of course, and also see other competitive nations which can give at a similar price levels. But by February, you could already see that Italy has joined the list, and it is not anymore an option in Italy. The best thing for all of us to do is to make in India. So most of the things, and that also I see, like what Mr. Arvind said, a great opportunity for MSMEs to get additional products as a replacement for what so far getting imported from these countries to be made locally in India. So this is one thing with the supporting customers with the respective parts. But I'm very optimistic about more and more products getting manufactured in India for the domestic requirement. Therefore, this automatically get addressed with the local suppliers of parts and components.
Um, the way forward for your company for the next 6 months post lockdown, what would be your mantra? Shakti, what would be the mantra for Schwingsetter for the next 6 months?
Of course, like everybody said, the people are going to be the first priority to keep them motivated and communicated and clear their mind about any type of fear, and also make sure that economically they do not have any problem in tiding over this period, because still we have uncertainty. We were supposed to start working on 20th, now it is 4th, so we are even prepared for any other eventuality also. So the taking care of the people will be our company's priority one, and of course the next in the priority is the customers in terms of the what is the immediate requirement. Good thing what I would like to share in this forum, that when we went back to the customer who had placed order and who wanted to take delivery, except for one or two, everybody gave us the confirmation they would like to continue taking delivery of the machine. They have not changed the plan. So that's a great information for all of us here, that there is no change in the customer mind because of this COVID situation.
Right.
They have another plan B. Everybody is going ahead with their plan. And so that is our priority in delivering all those machines as soon as we are allowed to deliver. And also certain sites are already started working. And for those sites, our engineers are already available to take care of them in giving the support like erection, etc. And the next priority is some of the learnings during this period of lockdown period, like video conferencing. We would like to make it a formal thing in the organization, so we save a lot of money. See, this cost control and avoiding unnecessary expenditure is also a part of the whole exercise. So that is going to become a new norm for us. And we see opportunity for our vendors and more localization. So we need to talk to them that what all opportunity available for them as soon as we open up. And digitalization is going to give opportunity for reskilling of our people, because they're used to work in some other process. Now they are going to work in a new process. So the reskilling is going to be an important thing. So a lot of learning is going to happen. So we will focus on that to develop our team fit enough to take care of for the future to come. So these are the things. Other than that, from the business side, we see opportunity on exports because in the month of February itself, there were some inquiries from the Middle East who placed orders with the China, who are not able to get the machineries. They came back to India and started ordering machine from us. We supplied many in the month of March, and we are going to supply again once the lockdown gets lifted up. And we see this as an opportunity going forward. More countries moving towards Indian construction equipments for meeting their demand rather than looking at putting every egg in one basket, which is China. So that trend we are already seeing. So we will try to investigate more and see the possibility of expanding in those markets as well.
Right.
Thank you.
Shakti, coming to you, perhaps the $1,000,000 question, which is on most of the people's mind, is how fast can the economy be brought back to track? What is your what is your thinking on that?
I actually, that is a combination of two factors. One is the strength of economy to come back, and another one is how weak the corona becomes faster. So both these factors together will decide on the time when actually the things will open out better for everybody. So we are positive. We hope that COVID is controlled across the country, because it's not only some manufacturing location or some consumption location. Everywhere we need this situation. And as far as economy is concerned, like many people mentioned here, or the panelists mentioned here, India's domestic consumption is very big, and we don't have any fear about the market bouncing back once the situation becomes normal. And added to this, we are going to have more of export requirement coming to India. With all that, I have a strong feeling that future is going to be really good. But to answer the specific question when, I think we have to wait for some more time. But I think everybody can do one thing immediately, is to do more of scenario building, understanding the development, what is happening with both the disease and the economy, more frequently have sort of panel discussions, and then come to the right type of solution, or give a solution to the problems what arises at that point of time. So in my take would be 3 months to 6 months to become things become absolutely normal.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just maybe I'll conclude with the last statement from my side. The construction and infrastructure industry employs almost 49 million people and contributes more than 10% to the GDP of the country. Hence, I would like to state that the need of hour is a real-time collaboration between contractors, rental companies, and the OEMs for quick revival of the stalled projects and for minimizing the liquidity crunch. This can be an accelerator for growth of the economy after the disruption suffered due to the lockdown. Alignment of projects with strategic interests like healthcare facilities would be essential. India needs to be innovative in the months to have, as our panelists also mentioned, to have a V-shaped recovery. This could see revival in the consumer sentiments, and despite of the global economic depression, India as a nation, we still have the possibility to stand out with a slight GDP growth. While most of the economies are looking at a negative growth, I think India still has the potential to attain at the end of the financial year a small GDP growth, however small it may be. I would also like to thank all our experienced panelists for sharing your views on several topics, and I would also like to thank the attendees. In fact, we touched almost 1,500 attendees. And I would like to convey my thanks to Messe Munich, Bhupender, for Messe Munich and the team for organizing this webinar with the support of NBM and CW, New Building Material and Construction World Publication. So I would say to all our attendees, stay optimistic, stay connected, and above all, stay healthy. Thank you.
All the distinguished panelists, to all our participants for finding time and making this session such a good exchange of ideas and also raising valid questions. So also big thanks to our media partners, NBM, CW, for their support. So with that, thanks again, and I hope to see all of you soon, maybe with the part 2.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.